In this video, I want to talk about that place that we can get into where we really want to make writing more of a priority in our lives, and we might even be giving ourselves a hard time for not doing that. And I'm going to explain exactly what's going on. This comes up quite a bit with the writers that I start working with, this idea of how to make writing more of a priority, how to put writing first above all of the other things that are going on. And often when we want this, we can also be in a place where we're feeling bad about it. We're feeling bad that we're not able to do that because we know that in order to achieve that writing dream that we have, we know that we need to make more time, say, for our writing. We know that we need to give it more priority, but it's just not possible, or we're really struggling in that particular area. The first place to really start to do the work is to acknowledge the fact that we are giving ourselves a hard time for that. And I don't know about you, but when I find myself giving myself a hard time, I find that very demotivating. I find it quite a negative cycle to be in. And for me, if I want to change the actions that I'm taking, if I want to change what I'm doing, I actually have to start giving myself a good time to really make sure that I'm focusing on doing what's right for me. If I'm giving myself a hard time, that generally makes me fall into a downward spiral, and then I'm prioritizing all of the things that really aren't good for me. So that's the first place, to notice that if you're struggling with prioritizing writing and you're giving yourself a hard time for that, you're going to basically be creating quite a negative atmosphere, and it's going to be hard, therefore, to make a decision to do something that's good for you. So how can we shift that mindset? How can we create a positive mindset even though we know that we're not prioritizing our writing? So this is a lovely little NLP, neuro-linguistic programming technique. And we look at the situation and say to ourselves, I am actually working perfectly. And that can be a really nice place to start, to actually acknowledge that the fact that you're not prioritizing your writing means that you're working perfectly. So what do I mean by that? By looking at whether we're working perfectly or not, we come down to our base instincts. So our base instincts, which is to eat, which is to survive, and I suppose lesser instincts, which is to have things like connection and to stay warm. And when we're working perfectly, we are doing things that we believe are going to solve all of those base instincts. So if we're not prioritizing our writing, it means that we're working perfectly because currently we don't see writing as one of those essential base instincts. So first of all, by acknowledging that we're working perfectly, we can then start to really get an understanding of what our priorities are. So it might be that our priority has been to put others first. And so it might be based on the fact that we believe that putting others first is really essential for our survival. And so it's okay. It's okay to see that we're doing that because we're simply following our beliefs that we need to put others first, to make sure that they like us, to make sure that we please them, to make sure that our life goes really nice and smoothly. So what we then start to do is to think about, okay, if I do want to prioritize my writing, what's my understanding that I need to shift around it? So by thinking about what you are prioritizing, you can start to get really clear about what's important to you. So it might be that what's important to you is to make sure that others are happy. And so then you can start to have a little discussion with your mind and say, well, actually, when I've spent some time each day on my writing, I'm a better person, and that puts me in a much better position to then make others happy. So do you see what I'm doing? We're basically looking at what we currently are prioritizing, and we're looking at how we can try to maintain that priority, but by putting our writing first. And so the work here is to first of all acknowledge that we're working perfectly, and then use that to then start a new cycle where we're putting our writing first. It's a lovely little practice, and these are the kinds of practices that I go into in more depth in my Facebook Lives, in my private Facebook group. There's a link below and you'll be able to join us. We're a lovely group of honest, committed, hardworking writers, all striving towards some kind of writing dream. And it really enables me to support the writers every step of the way. Because generally, if you're not getting the results that you want, it's an indication that somewhere in the brain there is some kind of instinct or priority that isn't currently set to serve your writing. And it's a lot easier than you think to switch that priority over. And it's lovely work and the results are really fantastic. Really nice to share this practice with you, as always, as I am here on Mondays on this sofa. If you're new here, then thanks for joining me. I hope you got something out of this video. And this is what we're doing every Monday. I'm looking at issues that writers might be having. I'm offering tips and techniques to help you in your writing journey, whether it's to develop a sustainable creative practice, whether it's to get you over those niggles in your work in progress. I'm always offering expert guidance from a coaching perspective. So do consider subscribing and really keeping on track of your writing journey so that you get to the top of that mountain. And I'll see you next Monday on the sofa. Take care till then.